Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Card Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about the 5, 6, and 7 of Wands, the Minor Arcana cards astrologically connected to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd decans of the fixed fire sign of Leo. The 5 of Wands, the halfway point of the suit of passion and fire. This is a card that we often call the card of immaturity because it's other people's opinions, other things keeping, conflicting our own ideas and passions and stopping us from believing in ourselves. Now you see all the wands here. It reminds us that everybody has a passion. Everybody has an inner fire they want to follow. And mine is likely different than yours. We're each different. That's what makes us so unique and so special. Like these different ideas, these different passions, they can take us forward. But if we're focused, on letting that doubt seep in, letting those opinions of other people tell us we can't do something and we're not good enough or for whatever reason or another, that's what holds us back. But when we change those thoughts, when we change, listening to the external and start listening to the internal and start believing in ourselves, then we can lead ourselves to the 6. The 6 is the card that I like to see as celebrating our victories, no matter how small and minute those victories might be. When we appreciate ourselves, when we shine, we show the world what we're made of, and we're not afraid to be our own true selves, and we celebrate ourselves and we see our worth. That's when the other people start celebrating us too, when they see that passion. Now, when they start seeing those passions, when we start celebrating ourselves, there's still going to be those other people that want to tell us we can't do something, that want to bring us down, that want to cause obstacles for us to face. Like the dude in this illustration, he's still passionate about something. He's still holding his own wand, just like the characters in all 3 of these illustrations. But there's 6 other wands down here at the bottom saying, I'm against you. I don't believe in you. Fighting the ones that are already standing in their power. So it's the card of overcoming the obstacles of other people not believing in you. Now, when it comes to the 5 of Wands, I always use the same example every single time. My parents are extremely creatively talented. I'm talking, if they want something, they'll just go make it. They have I don't know if it's a bad habit necessarily, but they are the kind of people that will go to a craft show and then turn right around and see a craft that they should buy because somebody else already did it, but they are talented enough that they can go home and make it themselves. Now, one time they wanted to make a camper out of a motorcycle trailer. Now, this is what happened. This illustration right here, there was someone against him, someone that was immature enough to go laugh at him and say, you can't do that. There's no way. No one can do that. Go out and buy a motorcycle trailer that's already a camper because you're not going to be able to do that. Well, fast forward 6 months. So in that 6 months, my parents put in the hard work and effort. They didn't care what somebody else thought. And they changed that motorcycle trailer that they already had into a camper that not only could seat them, let them sleep and everything, that not only had a little toilet in it, a refrigerator in it, a television in it for crying out loud, and a bed. But that bed that was in that motorcycle trailer would fold up on either side of the wall because they made it that way, and they could just slide their motorcycle right back in when they were traveling. Celebrate your victories. That's what they were able to achieve because they didn't listen to the opinions of others. They didn't let that doubt, that immaturity, that anxiety, that voice that said, I can't do it, hold them back from actually doing it. Now, the 7 of Wands, now that they've made a name for themselves, I don't know if, anybody's actually personally standing against them, but you find that passion, you don't listen what other people say, and you feel victorious with that passion. That's what leads you to feeling everybody else is against you, probably because they're jealous of what you've been able to achieve. Now, the deck that you see here is the Weiser Tarot, based on the Rider-Waite-Smith that we all know and love. But what I love about these particular illustrations and this particular version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the colors that are represented in here. These watercolors, these bright, vivid ones, the fire colors for the suit of Leo, they're perfect. The yellow and orange up here, they all kind of match. They all go through the Minor Arcana sequence, the suit of wands and everything. And there's that, it's not quite that vivid yet with this illustration right here. It's yellow there. You have that happiness, that creativity, that enthusiasm, but that enthusiasm and excitement comes to life with the 6. He's got the red on himself. He's following his passion. He's got that horse that has that beautiful, vibrant orange there. I've always seen orange as the color of enthusiasm and excitement for what you're going to achieve, whereas the yellow is more the creativity. So you blend those two together and you have that vibrancy, that happiness, that not afraid to shine and show the world what you're are made of. And there, that illustration right there with the Seven of Wands, same kind of background. All three of them match, which is why I love it. But there he's got the little like dusty blue and everything on him. So he still has got his logic. He's still got trusting in himself, and he's still willing to defend what lights his inner fire and what he wants to celebrate, because it's what fills him with passion. Leo is considered the showman of the zodiac for a reason. These are the people that are not afraid to stand on a stage and share their lights with the world. Just think Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones. That man is a Leo, and he is not afraid to just show the world what he's made of. And he's got people that don't like him. He's got people that, will celebrate him till the end of time, but he's going to have those conflicts because he's willing to put himself out there. But if you're willing to do that and it lights your inner fire, then there's no stopping you from being that showman of your life too. Now we're going to set these cards aside, and I'm going to share a couple other illustrations of the 5, 6, and 7 of Wands to show you a little bit difference of each of them, but still similar in their meanings and their sayings. Take the Tarot of the New Vision, which is just like a different take on the Rider-Waite-Smith. Like, you're looking behind the characters instead of in front of them. Like there's the 5 of Wands right there with the Weiser Tarot, and you have this illustration right here, same kind of concept, but instead we're looking at it from a different angle. And that raven or that crow up at the top that's like seeming to fight with a different bird, that's reminding us that when we give into that immaturity and everything, we're no different than animals. We're not achieving our goals. We're not completing what we want to achieve because we're too busy fighting among one another. So when we turn around and we look at that situation from a different angle, when we stop caring what other people think and say, we can start changing our mindsets and start being the victors of our stories that we want to be. There's the 6 of Wands, and what's really interesting, like, I love the little keys to details about these, because there you see all the characters and stuff. You see this side of the horse, this side of the character, but you don't necessarily see what's going on over here. Now on this illustration there, now you're facing it from the side that we can't see over here. And one of those characters has a bird cage, and that bird is flying free. So those birds that were in this conflict over here with the 5 of Wands, they're not in a conflict anymore. They're moving forward, they're flying free, and they're celebrating the fact that they're following their own dreams. So the 6 of Wands following that 5 of Wands, again, reflecting on those experiences of the past, loving who we are in the here and now, and appreciating the victories, no matter how small those victories might be in our lives, can help us to have that confidence, to stand tall and defend what we're passionate about. Now the illustration right here, backside of the illustration right here, we don't see all the stuff going on when it comes to this illustration, but when we stand behind him and we look from his perspective, we see all the smoke, all the things coming up in the background, all the obstacles. And perhaps these people down here that are fighting him are so focused on, saying, you shouldn't do this, we don't believe in you, or, following tarot card readers and witches and saying, we're all evil and everything like that. You're not focused on the real problems. You're not focused on what's really wrong. So perhaps this guy standing on the metaphorical cliff defending his passion is also defending humanity and defending the world, because he's the one focused on the truth. You wouldn't get this from any other illustration, would you? Because you've got that other perspective. And that's what I love about this deck, and love about having so many different tarot decks, because they show different perspectives we might not have seen another way. So that is the Tarot of the New Vision, the exact opposite of the Rider-Waite-Smith, the regular one that we see. Next up, I have and I'm horrible about pronouncing this, I usually look it up and I forgot, it will not stay in my head, but the Japaridze Tarot, right here with these illustrations of the 5, 6, and 7 of fire instead of wands. That's another thing. Different decks equal different names of suits, but this is the suit of fire and passion, so fire, fire, fire. That's the elements that we have. It's absolutely perfect. Now, the 5 of fire here in this illustration in this deck, instead of a bunch of characters like we saw with this illustration and that illustration, they're not like, there's not that many people fighting. Instead, it's 2 skeletons, and they're like, sword fighting one another instead of focusing on where they want to be and what they want to do. It's kind of similar to that illustration we had here with the 7 of Wands and the New Vision, because, there's that smoke, there's that chaos around them, but they're so focused on just fighting one another, or even in our heads, fighting our own inner demons, that we don't see what's going around in the world. So if we change those mindsets, we start looking forward instead of instead of looking at the opinions of everything of other people, and we start believing in ourselves and following our goals and following our hearts, we can be celebrated because we're willing to celebrate ourselves. Now, this card in the illustration is actually the reason why I wanted to share this deck for this particular, Wands of Leo section, because that is just one of the most beautiful illustrations I've ever seen, and one of the perfect 6 of Wands fire signs, so fire cards that I've ever seen in my entire life. Because yes, we can talk about Mick Jagger standing on a stage and sharing his light with the world, or we can look at this illustration right here of this beautiful violinist. Violin music is like my favorite music. I remember when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was play the violin, and my mom actually told me nobody plays the violin or string instruments, it's wind instruments all the way. So yeah, I played the clarinet for maybe 3 years. I hated it. I hated that feeling of that wood in my mouth. I would have, that's one thing. That's like probably my top regrets of all time, was not like standing for that, not defending what I was passionate about. Because then, like Lindsay Sterling, one of the greatest violinists of our generation, I could be like her, standing on a stage, sharing that light and what you love. Like, never let the opinions of others keep you from focusing on your passions and your light. Because when you share that, when you believe in it, when you love what you do, then you're going to keep putting in that work and effort, and you're going to let that inner fire lead you to the success with what you're passionate about. And then the people staring at you, the people celebrating you, it's not going to feel so stressful because you're doing what you want to do. And the first step is finding that confidence in yourself to shine, to stand in that fire, stand in that passion, and share it with the world. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be people out there that don't appreciate what you're doing, that want to bring you down just because they're jealous of you. But if you find that confidence, not only are you going to start shining and finding success in your own life, you're going to inspire others to follow their dreams, follow their passions, and shine that light in the world too. The more we stop fighting with one another, the more we can stand in our power and stand in our truth and be the showman of our lives that we want to be the stars of our stories, and focus on where we want to go and what we want to do. So find that power to change that mindset. Don't keep fighting with one another because somebody's ideas might be different than yours, until we're all just skeletons and nothing but skeletons. Find that passion that you want to do and focus on it. Celebrate each step that you take with it. If you want to be a famous violinist and the first time you pick up a violin, it makes this horrible screeching sound, like, chalkboard, nails on a chalkboard, or a screaming cat or something like that, be proud of the fact that you took that first try. Now, the 7 of fire, once you get good at something, that's when other people want to fight you. That's when other people want to say, no, you can't do this, because, again, they're jealous of you. But that 7, the number of the chariot of the Major Arcana, overcoming obstacles to stand in the way of success. You keep standing in your passion, standing in your power, you can overcome whatever life throws at you and find that success that you deserve, because you were willing to put yourself out there and you were willing to shine. So we're going to set that deck aside, and then I'm going to have one more to share with you, and then I'll send you on your way. I just thought it was fitting because I've lately heard that August, the main basis of Leo season. Leo starts July 20th, 21st, 22nd, that area, and then goes until August 21st or 22nd stuff. So it's like 21, 22 days in August. And lately, like, if you're a huge Halloween buff like I am, and you go to like Michael's, Spirit Halloween is starting to open early in October's and everything, or August and everything too. So I've seen the words Augtober, Augtober, be put out there, and you know what? I'm a huge fan of that. I'm not a fan of autumn. I'm not a fan of like green trees turning all bright, vivid colors because they're dying and starting over, but I can't help it. I am such a fan of Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. So here's the beauty of Horror Tarot with their versions of the 5, 6, and 7 of Wands, to appreciate even the dark, creepy, macabre things in life that other people might not appreciate. Now, I'm not saying, go around unaliving other people, keeping them, from achieving their goals and stuff. No, stop fighting with one another. Start focusing on where you want to be and what you want to do. because life is short. So why not focus on your goals and not the opinions that someone else might have? You know, different goals and everything going on here, and they're still fighting. They're still conflicting. They're not focused on where they want to be and what they want to do. The Six of Wands, same character here, you know, on the horse. Where was the horse? The front side of the horse and the back side of the horse, and then, well, Lindsay Sterling with the violins, showing the different passions and stuff. And if you're passionate about the creepy, the weird and stuff, look what you can create with it. Think of one of the greatest movies, the same as greatest stories of all times. Yeah, there's people that's not going to enjoy it, but if you're passionate about it and you're willing to celebrate it, then other people are going to start celebrating you. So, you know, enjoy where you want to be right now. Overcome the obstacles that stand in your way. Don't let the past, don't let the future hinder you from having that confidence you need to change and transform your life for the better, to follow your passion and celebrate those victories under your belt every time you take a new step with it. And then fight for what you believe in, following that passion and shining like the beautiful, beautiful star that you are, the beautiful showman that you can be when you have that confidence to follow your dreams. 8, that's the month of August. That's the main thing in the Leo season. And you know, I remember I've had people tell me, like, I was only like 2 when 1988 hit, 2.5, because it's December, you know, end of month. And I know a lot of people, like, my brother was born in 1988, but he was born in March, so he wasn't, I don't think they actually plan on this, but a lot of people plan their pregnancies around August 8th, 1988, to find that success and wealth, you know, 8 being the number of success and wealth. So, you know, that's just one aspect of how powerful, like, shining is, just how powerful the month of August and Leo season can be. But we have to stop fighting amongst each other. We have to stop ignoring what's really important around us, you know, instead of being like wild animals and being like birds that are fighting each other because a crow went into their nest and tried to steal their eggs. You know, there's bigger things. There's, like, you know, letting the opinions of others and stuff is not the big thing in life that we need, that we have to focus on to keep us from trusting ourselves. The passion that we have for something, the willingness to go after what we want and defend what we're passionate about against the people that don't believe in us, we can absolutely stand victorious and become the people that we want to be. Those are the 5, 6, and 7 of Leo, or 5, 6, and 7 of Wands for the zodiac sign of Leo. The Minor Arcana cards astrologically connected to the fixed fire sign of the zodiac. Like I said, the Japaridze, such a gorgeous deck right here. And yes, I know I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but you know, I don't need to pronounce it correctly if I'm using it for your tarot reading. So if you want a reading with this deck, the Tarot of the New Vision, which was this deck right here, the Weiser Tarot with this deck right here, or last but not least, the Beauty of Horror Tarot right here. All of those are available for your own personal reading if you are interested in that. If you have any questions, any comments, you know, feel free to leave them below. If you want a reading for yourself, then feel free to comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website. All of that will be in the description below, as well as, you know, the different decks that I've used. I might not put the links to where you can purchase them because they're all mass market. You can purchase them wherever decks are sold, I'm pretty sure. Actually, this one might not be for sale anymore, the Beauty of Horror, but you know, it doesn't hurt to look. But I'll put all those names of those decks in the link in the description below. As always, I want to thank you for watching. I want you to believe in the ability that you can shine, and I want you to enjoy. I'm glad you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again in the next one.